Hello, Wellness Check Wednesdays community. We wanted to take a moment to remind you that while our podcast serves as a safe space for open discussions and sharing experiences, we are not mental health experts. This podcast is a platform for you to express your thoughts, feelings, and experiences in a judgment-free zone. Our aim is to foster connection, provide support, and create a sense of community. It's crucial to acknowledge that we are not a substitute for professional mental health advice or treatment. If you or someone you know is dealing with mental health challenges, we strongly encourage seeking guidance from qualified professionals. Remember, reaching out to mental health experts can make a significant difference. If you ever feel the need, don't hesitate to connect with a licensed therapist, counselor, or healthcare professional.
This is the Wellness Check Wednesdays podcast, a share space, a judgment-free zone, a place to meet and discuss our mental health. So let's check in.
Well. We are at episode 36 of the Wellness Check Wednesdays podcast, and we are especially thankful for everyone that has joined us for this wonderful ride into improving our mental health. And we encourage each and every Wednesday and every day of the week, let's check
in.
You should know me by now. My name is Brian Livingston, aka Be Live, the moderator of the Wellness Check Wednesdays podcast. And I have the originators of the Wellness Check Wednesdays podcast joining us on this week by way of Cleveland, Ohio. My man, Edwin Vereen.
Down south, they're surviving a tropical depression / hurricane / tropical storm. Yesterday, I survived. I don't know what the hell came off of Lake Erie, so I'm just blessed to be alive. And shout out to anybody that's been affected to this, and thoughts and prayers are out with you. But yeah, man, weather's wild, weather's nuts. But other than that, I'm here.
It came off of Lake Erie. Was it a water spout or a tornado?
Or was it the Loch Ness Monster?
There wasn't none of them. It was about around 4 o'clock before I left to go to the fun job to have a live stream meeting. And I looked outside, it got real dark and the wind was blowing and some lawn pet chairs was flying across the backyard. I'm like, man, what the hell is going on? It was just something quick. And like some parts of Cuyahoga County, which is where, Cleveland, the county that Cleveland's located in, some people are still without power.
Oh, wow.
And and it's been like, either it's been flicking off and on, and you ain't got no power, there's trees down. It was something. It was something.
Man, and definitely this is with the storms that are happening here. I think right now the storm is just really hovering over Georgia and South Carolina. There's a lot of flooding right now. So our thoughts and prayers are with all those that are affected.
Definitely.
We're about to be right in the thick of things come tomorrow, Friday. Issue is coming through the Fayetteville area. All right.
I thought it would have passed by now, but I was like,
oh, no, it's one of those. It's very slow moving. Like,
even worse.
Like this almost reminds me of Hurricane Florence a few years back, and it just brought rain on top of rain on top of rain. I believe it was Florence, or it may have been Matthew, where we still don't know if it's going to go back out to sea and then try to throw some, try to strengthen a little bit. So we're just really staying prayerful and staying hopeful. I gotta try to fight the grocery stores tomorrow because Wednesdays are my busiest days, whatnot. But also, let me not pass through without introducing our other originator here by way of the Share Studios here in Fayetteville, North Carolina. My man, Kevin Marshall.
A little wet, a lot of prayer, and staying safe.
Absolutely. And so with that being said, we're just going to dive right into our topic that has been chosen for this week's episode. Forming a routine while breaking old habits. And we're going to dive right into this, but when it comes to forming a routine, I mean that is really what our everyday life is. It doesn't matter how much you do things by the what is it, the seat of your pants or fly by night and all. No, every one of us has some type of routine because I mean, this there are things that we just have to do every single day, like or we have to, or you should. I mean, wash your behind and whatever else you do throughout the day. Please wash your behind and brush your teeth, drink your water, and mind your business. But forming a routine while breaking old habits. Sometimes in that routine that we live in, we develop bad habits. Like but me personally, part of my routine when I was in the service industry was working in a restaurant was that as soon as I would wake up sometime during the depending on when I work during the day or later in the afternoon. I go to work, do my work, get off of work, and find a watering hole and decompress. I decompress 5 nights a week, and then when I was off, I would decompress some more. Is that a is Was that a bad habit? Yes, absolutely. There ain't that much decompressing in the world, but that was my routine. That was something I was comfortable with. Was it healthy? No. Was it beneficial? No. But it was something that I formulated in my head that, hey, this is what I do. And so I will say this. I'm a big advocate of in everything in moderation. My moderation might be different than somebody else's moderation. And that's between me, myself, and I. Don't be judging me. I like a beverage. It is what it is. But when it comes to our mental health, when it comes to keeping our mentals in focus and doing what's good for ourselves and those around us, even in the workplace, even when we're out to play, et cetera, that routine sort of just sits in there. And it's tough to deviate from the norm or change what's really going on. So as we continue with this podcast, I want to pass the mic over to Edwin as he will opine a little bit further on forming a routine while breaking old habits.
All right, thanks, Be Live. I was able to find some reading because you know how I do it. I didn't go to my favorite website. I kind of ventured out a little bit and want to try something different because sometimes you got to try something different.
Amen.
It is an infographic on mhnational.org, which I assume that's mentalhealthnational.org, and it's an infographic. It says creating healthy routines, and it has some interesting facts. It says work, paying bills, cleaning, cooking, shopping, exercising, getting enough sleep, and taking care of children are just some of the things millions of Americans do each day. Minus the kid part. And it's easy to be overwhelmed. It can feel impossible to get everything done, let alone take care of yourself. This kind of intertwines with that whole support system thing, right? Especially if you're already struggling with a mental health concern like depression or anxiety. By creating routines, we organize our days in such a way that taking care of tasks and ourselves becomes a pattern that makes it easier to get things done without having to think hard about it. All right. So while we're looking at this infographic, got some to the right, we got some fun facts. It says when it comes to diet, sleep, and exercise, having good, strong routines is linked to improved and physical mental health. It is some research information. So we're going to take it as, as fact. And then it says people with more daily routines have lower levels of distress when facing problems with their health or negative life events. And then it says it takes an average of 66 days for a behavior to become automatic, aka a habit. But for some people, it can take as long up to 8.5 months. Damn, that's a long time to form a good habit, if you will. So don't give up. All right, Nick says tips for success here. I'll just read them, the bold part. But the link to the infographic will be posted in the description box so that way you can read along and save it as well too. Tips for success: create the routine that is right for you. We don't all have the same schedules or responsibilities, and some of us struggle in certain parts of our daily life more than others, and it tells you, how to do that. Start small. Changing up your day-to-day routine all at once probably won't end up with lasting results. Pick one small thing each week to work on. It could be adding something new and positive or cutting out a bad habit. Small changes add up. It says add to your existing habits. You probably already have some habits worked into your routine, like drinking a cup of coffee in the morning. Try adding a new one to existing ones. For instance, if you want to read more, you can set aside 10 minutes to read while you have your coffee instead of drinking it on the drive to work, which I never do because, you hit a bump and then you got Cafe Bustelo in your lap and you don't want that to happen. It says make swaps. Think about things you do during the day that aren't so healthy and swap them out for better behaviors. For example, if you feel sluggish in the afternoons and eat a sugary snack for a quick pick me up, try taking a brisk walk instead to get your blood pumping and endorphins flowing. Or if you find yourself having a few alcoholic drinks after a long and stressful day, try sipping hot tea instead. I'm passing no
Some
judgment on
hot
everybody.
tea.
That's
Hot.
just a reading. hot tea with a shot or something, with a buyout or something, right? A buyout. They don't know about a buyout. How you spell buyout? Bayyow, buyout or something. All right. It says plan ahead when life gets hectic. You may be tempted to skip out on the new parts of your daily routine by doing things like prepping meals ahead of time, picking an outfit, things of that nature. It says make time for things that you enjoy. Even if it's 15 minutes a day, set aside some time for something you find fun and relaxing. It will release chemical messengers in your body that are good for your physical and mental health. Reward yourself with small victories and don't beat yourself up if you miss a day. And then if you scroll down, it has planning your routine, and you can print this out and add to it. And it also has a calendar which you can add to as well too. Routines. Before Be Live hit the record button, I told Be Live today, I said, hey man, I got a good workout at the gym today. I was supposed to go yesterday, but laziness and procrast. Well, no, I had stuff to do. So I said to myself, damn it, you're going to that gym on Tuesday. Um, Old habits die hard. I will say that. My friend of mine was just talking, was like, hey, old habits die hard. And I think when it comes to creating a good routine, it aligns with balance. So that when you have the balance in that routine, everything can go as well. Something that I would like to do, I would like to read more. I feel that, hey, I should be reading more instead of spending time just scrolling on Facebook or going in a singles group and doing all this riffraff. But I digress. That's neither here nor there. All right. Um, Spending more time at the gym, as I told B Live, some things may be happening in the future. That's where that time at the gym maybe become limited. Um, but I have to focus on that as well too. And trying to get rid of the old habits are really hard because you're just so used to routinely doing them, and breaking them can be really tough. So if we're talking about anything that we're working on, for me, I would like to get in the gym more. I would like to be more organized, and I would like to be more intentional in every aspect of my life and everything I do, be it working, be it paying bills, being it on these podcasts, being it, my things outside of work, my other ventures and all that. So yeah, those are three things, which means if you look at three things I have to do, okay, you might have to sacrifice a little bit of sleep, you know, other bad habits, such as, hey, just kind of just laying around and having that idle time. You got to sacrifice that as well too. And number three, just eliminating things that are distractions. That's big to me because come August 23rd, high school football, I'm gonna be in somebody's doggone press box booth, producing a live stream. So I'll probably be doing that from all through football season and all through basketball season. So damn near these next 6 months, I'm gonna be busy. So I have to form these habits, I'm gonna have to form these routines that'll be productive in what I have to do in my everyday life. Big Kev with the big piece of chicken. What say you?
um, This kind of sort of piggybacks off of last week's topic with support systems and support groups. But I want to deviate from this topic just a little bit because I was watching TikTok earlier, just scrolling through randomly, and I just happened to come across this one. I watched some worship, some of some other natures, and yeah. But this one had really stuck out to me that this pastor had grabbed this guy, I guess, one of his members in his congregation or whatever, and you know, he went on to say, like, me and him go to the same gym, me and him lift the same weights. Why do we look different? Because he's not using the gym to justify, I went to the gym, I can eat this. I went to the gym, I can drink this. I went to the gym, I could do this. He was using the gym as a way of blessings. I went to the gym so I can't do. I went to the gym so I can't eat this. I went to the gym so I can't drink this. And just thinking about that, it goes into a sense of, like you had just said too, old habits die hard. But looking at it in a wider spiritual mental picture, it kind of correlates to me and my sayings is like, why are we looking for something to justify for what we are doing instead of using what we are doing to be a blessing to others? Because you never know, breaking your routine, you never know who's watching, who you're inspiring to be better on themselves, and not just for themselves, but for people around them in a sense. And it comes into play that, correlating back to one of those very first podcasts we did, that you got to have that core counsel. You got to find that core counsel, and it's a solid 3. Not a solid 3 that can take over the world, but it's a solid 3. You'll have that one that loves you no matter what. You'll have that one that tells you what it is, when it needs to be heard, and how it needs to be heard. And then you have that one who's just, let's go. Let's get it done. Let's jump into it. Let's get up Shit's Creek without a paddle. Like,
Yep.
be live.
My takeaway from this morning thing, creating new habits. Being it's a mindset.
Definitely.
I like that Kevin, I like what you when you were talking about that pastor and that person, 2 people going to the gym having 2 different purposes, 2 different thought processes. And so the gym will have a different effect, even though the gym's the same for pretty much. I mean, it's a building, it has all this workouts, equipment, all these things that you can utilize, but with a different mindset, the gym is completely different for 2 people. And so first things first, the mindset has got to be, it's time for a change, which we just talked about. And you've got to make, you got to make that change. I personally have to make a change, especially with my morning routine. I will sleep until about 20 minutes before I have to get up and go. I'll shower, brush a tooth, and rub
Not a tooth.
One tooth gets brushed.
Dang.
I'll put something on my underarms. That reminds me, I need to get someone. What's that? Baby powder, because I used to keep it real fresh. That's a whole nother story within itself.
You got to be careful with that baby powder, be like, because that baby powder got that talcum.
Yeah, so it's got
stuff.
And also be careful with that Yingling brushing one tooth.
Breath, wow. Just come out smelling like bad Jameson. Man. But yes, I mean, I will sleep until literally until I can't sleep anymore. Jump up, wash a face, and then I'm off to work. I ain't did nothing for my physical health. Did I eat breakfast today? No. Did I go on that walk that I was supposed to be doing each day before I go to work? No. how am I going to improve my physical health and also on top of that my mental health if I don't make that change? I gotta form a new routine.
Mm-hmm.
Because sometimes you get stuck in that lull. Sometimes, and then sometimes you make excuses for yourself, where it's like, nah, I'm all right. Everything. I mean, I've lost some weight. Could I lose more? Yes, I need to still.
Mm-hmm.
I will say fortunate. I'm fortunate enough that when I this past weekend when I took the trip to Columbia, South Carolina, I ain't gonna do it like we did on the Sports Bros podcast. I'm just gonna call it Columbia. This is mental health,
Yes, thank you.
and
Appreciate
I was a little bit more mobile on my feet than I was the last time. There's a couple times I'd be out in these streets struggling, just walking down the street, walking a block and a half, and then got to do the and stuff like that.
it. Mm.
And people keep telling me you need to start slow, start by going on a walk, start by going on a walk. And I told myself I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. I set my alarm for an hour earlier. I said I was going to get up. Next thing you know, I didn't hit the snooze button 5 times. Wait a minute. Oh
Oof.
Lord.
Let's see. And hearing that, I wish I could find that video. That there was an old Marine sergeant that said, the biggest changes come from the smallest victories.
Yep.
And hearing that, wake up, make your bed. As soon as the alarm pops off, make your bed. Don't
I
even hop back in it. Go sit on the couch. Go sit in your living room. Go like
make my
even it.
bed.
Make your bed.
I need to do that. I ain't
Well,
made.
hold on.
I
But
ain't,
watch this, because if I remember that video correctly, making your bed leads into other things that you'll start to notice. Making your bed will just as simple things as making your bed. And I've pondered on this video for a very long time. Making your bed, starting off by making your bed. Now you're looking at, damn, I don't want to get back in that because then I'm gonna have to make it again.
It's too nice.
Yeah, and it's going to force you to actually now be up and, like I said, go sit in the living room, drink your cup of coffee, like Ed was saying. If you want to read more, sit there and read, whether it's on your phone, whether it's a hard book, whether it's a newspaper. But that'll conspire into trickling into that latter effect of changes.
mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
But some of the, and how I perceive this is that some of the biggest changes come from the smallest victories. But the thing is, are you willing to take that first step into getting that smallest victory?
And as you opined to earlier, man, like you said, it's all about that mindset because I got a feeling that this podcast, the one before and the one before that, because this one is about forming new habits. The last one was about support system, and the last one was about making a change. And it's funny how all three of these correlate together. I didn't intend for it to happen, excuse me, but it did. So it's just give me one second. It was just the fact that okay, well, enough, it's time for a change. And then after that, okay, well, sometimes when you change, you might need a support system because you might feel like you're all alone. So therefore, you have a support system. Okay, now that you want to change, get the support systems. Now you want to find form better habits, better actually have a routine. For me, I would like to, pray a little bit more and meditate more first thing in the morning instead of picking up my phone and going to Instagram and doing all this stuff. Like I think I need to get to a point to where I take this phone and lay it face down. So that way I'm not privy to talk, to get on the phone and do everything. And I think like those first few hours when I wake up, I need that time for me. I don't want to talk on the phone.
Right.
I don't, in a way, I don't want to be bothered. I just wanted to kind of just set the tone for my day by having that moment of silence, the moment of me time, the moment of being alone. Like that's like I used to wake up anywhere between 6:15 to 6:30, and I've been guilty of hitting the snooze button a time or two.
Same.
But once 6:45 come, all right, man, get your ass up, let's get it, let's go. And I also want to get into the habit of if I have to work at morning, get my clothes together at night, so that way I don't have to be scrambling in the morning. take a shower at night if you have to. You know, when it comes to the dinner, you know, prepare your dinner on your off day if you have to last you X amount of days. So it's just trying to put it all together, man. Like you said, Kev, it's just you have to celebrate those small victories. Okay, well, I made my bed. Okay, what else can I do? I did this and I did that. Okay, what else can I do? I did this and I did that. And like the infographic says, it takes an average of 66 days to form the behavior to become an automatic. It takes an average, if I can read and talk today, it takes an average of 66 days for a behavior to become automatic. And some people it takes as long as 8 months. Ooh, that's a long time.
Yeah.
Just like I told myself, like me in the gym, you know, I wanna look better, I wanna feel good. I mean, I'm looking at Randy Orton, he's jacked to the gills. But I don't want to get that big. I told myself back in February, hey man, you know, get in that gym, start taking health a little bit more seriously. So I got in there a little bit February, a little bit March, all of April, some of May, June fell off. Fell completely off. Life was life and it got busy. By the time July came around, I started getting back in there. But August, oh, my ass is in there. If I had it my way, man, anywhere between like 3 days a week,
Right.
possible. 3 days a
You
week.
know,
So it's just
it comes into play of one thing that you were saying about it takes 60 days to build a routine. And sometimes it could take people up to 8 months to build a routine. It comes into play of a question that I have. The how can I put this? The guidelines and the rules that our parents instilled in us. What happened to those as we got older?
we moved out the house and said, I'm grown. I'm doing what I want to do.
Right.
Right, Be Live?
But then it goes back into what B Live was saying, opining on him, having that mindset. Like all of this is just tying in together, but it's raising so many questions because it's having that mindset that, you know, I need to get a better routine. And it might not even start with better. I just need to get a good routine. We always put that better on ourselves instead of just putting good. Like, let's start off with good and build our way up to better. Yeah. Hercules wasn't a legend off of the gate when he was born.
Oh, and so baby steps. I hear that. One step at a time. Don't try. The Rome wasn't built in a day, and just changing your routine isn't like you. All of these are very valid points where you're not going to change your whole routine in one sitting. It has to be one step here, one step there. And that's why like I'm really something a lot of this I'm really talking to myself and giving myself the pep talk is like, hey, just start with and Kev, that's what I'm thankful. Just make your bed. And then you're up. And then your bed is made. Then you're like, well, let's go for this walk. Let's just walk a couple of steps outside, touch grass.
And look, like Ed said, let's have that hot cup of tea in the morning.
that hot cup of tea, you know. That.
I'm gonna stick to my orange juice or apple juice. That's what I need to have. Glass of water. Now you over here trying to get a hot toddy going on at 7 o'clock in the morning.
Let me
with a shot at buyout in it, but go ahead.
let me put this in correlation for you, B. How neat and how pristine and how well maintenance you keep the studio. Why doesn't that trickle into your own personal?
That is a question, and I have dealt with for the majority of my professional adult life. Because before running the studio, I was a restaurant manager. And the kitchen in the restaurants I worked at had to be pristine. There was no letting this sit out or letting this. And I developed a very bad habit of I put in so much work to keep my business clean that I'd get home and like, nah, I'm good. I'm shoot. Put that shirt over there and pile of clothes over here. It's mine. I live by myself, me, myself, and I. I could just let go, and that turned into a bad habit. And so that's something I still do. I do need to work on. I'm better than what I was,
Amen.
but I still have steps to go. It could be, there's always steps of improvement that I can continue to do. And so that is absolutely a very valid point and something I will continue to work on each day as the days go by. Now, I am also bad at saying that I'm better than what I once was, but sometimes my progression can be very, very slow. Now, sometimes some things I may need to pick up the pace on.
But sometimes the best victories are the slowest races ran.
Yeah, I understand that.
Yeah.
But there is a point to that. But even I won't allow myself to for certain things to be accepted.
Oh yeah,
I still have to have a level of standards for
yeah,
myself. Like,
yeah,
hey,
definitely.
so I need to pick up the pace on a couple of things. Now the slow roll and the patience wins the race. That works for certain aspects. Certain other things in life, hey, come on, pick it up. You know you need to do better. Let's go ahead and hey, you are doing better, but you can take it to the next level. And there's certain things that I know in my own thought process that yes, I need to step up the pace.
You're not the only one.
So, and that one thing that's what I try to admit to myself because I do get in those lulls sometimes. Like, you know what? It's all right. I'm better than what I once was, so I'm all right. When did all right become the standard?
Well, it goes back to one of those podcasts that we've done. I think it was 3 months ago, where when it's all right becomes it's complacent.
Right.
And you get stuck in that standard. And that's why I say everything starts with a ladder of a chain of effect. Sometimes it could be just as small as making your bed every morning when you get up. That'll build into, well, you know what? Let me pick up this pile of clothes. You know what? Let me put my shoes where they need to go. You know what? Let me wash the dishes. And it starts with that chain ladder of effect. Because trust me, just as much as everything that you're speaking on, I have to work on it myself. I
Me
don't
too.
go
Yeah,
to
go ahead, Kev.
like I have to work on it myself. And I know, like Ed just said, as much as he does too, like we're all not perfect. Just because I'm asking 1,000,001 questions, it's the things that reoccur in my head daily, 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 daily. But it all starts off with let me get good, let me get all right. But then the next step above all right is let me get better.
And like just like I said earlier, man, I'm looking at this from all aspects of my life, like from career to how I handle my finances. And when it comes to finances, I know what the exact issue is. I know what the exact issue is. And me and B Life had a discussion. And if all goes as planned, that'll be one less thing I got to worry about. That's out of all the to-do tasks, that's the smallest task I have to take care of. But you know, it has to happen in order for me to become from good to better, from okay to good to better to great, just like you said, Kev. So it's just it is definitely a process because I've moved several times from South Carolina to New Hampshire, New Hampshire back to South Carolina, South Carolina to Atlanta, and Atlanta up here to Ohio. I knew that each time I had to develop a different routine. But there were some things like, okay, I would look at the bad habits that I had in each place. I'm like, okay, we're not gonna do that. Okay, what are the good habits? Okay, setting the alarm, setting your coffee makers. That way, when you get up, you can wake up to the smell of coffee, and then you can go on. You can go on about your day. You know, cooking that meal. That way, you can get up and pack your lunch and do all this other stuff, and just like you said, the goal is to be better, but we're gonna be good first. But we're gonna work our way up from good to better to great. We going the three of us, we gonna get there. And everybody that's watching and listen to the podcast, take your time, no rush. You know, you gotta do what you gotta do at your own pace and just just start off small. Don't do no massive overhaul. That's when some people get kind of, they stop doing things because it can become too much. But you have to sit down and break it down. But okay, what's something small that I can start? You have to look at it the tier levels. Okay, the most challenging, the challenging, the least challenging, and the start. You just have to. It's like like an upside down triangle. What is the like an upside down triangle almost? I like the nutrition period almost. We have to look at nutrition pyramid. We have to look at it like that. So I'm done talking because I done said period.
We got
hey,
you understood.
Look,
got
we definitely won't gonna stop you because you was on the road, my black brother.
and all I got is a little red cup here and some water, and that's it. Now that's gonna change after the recording. I ain't gonna lie to you.
I understand it. Hey, but yeah, with that being said, man, you guys have been hitting on some major points when it comes to changing the routine, breaking old habits. I'm very thankful for the words, the research, and everything that you guys brought to the table.
Mm-hmm.
And once again, to everyone that's listening, we thank you for your support. Continue to like, comment, subscribe, let us know. And as always, this was the Wellness Check Wednesdays podcast, where we encourage you each and every week, each and every day.
Let's
check
in.
Catch y'all next week.
Yeet.
Be good.
Uso in the house. Yeet.
Thank you for listening to the Wellness Check Wednesdays podcast. Please join us every week, Wednesdays on Zoom at 6 p.m., and join our Facebook group for updates and to participate. We care about your mental health, so let's check in.